So this is basically how I analyze the chart. So first of all, start from the weekly time frame. Starting from the weekly time frame, we can all agree that this is it's a constant buy trend as of now. So this is a clear buy move. So we don't want to be taking buys at this instant. So clearly saying marking out our lowest low and mark out a high where we believe the market will react from. This is a high where I believe we'll see massive rejection from. This is also another high at this point. This is another high at this point. So it's not much to drop down to the daily time frame. But before I advance to the daily time frame, I'll mark out this pattern I see here. It's a clear head and shoulder pattern. So after that, we drop down to the daily time frame. Dropping down to the daily time frame, you can all see that this is surely a clear buy move to the upside. But then I want you to only focus on this whole area, So we want to analyze what happened there before this buy move. So zooming in closely, there's nothing much to do. You can all clearly see that this is more like a consolidation. It's more like a consolidation here. It's more like a consolidation here. So there's nothing more to do than to go down to the um 4 hour time frame. But first of all, let's look at the daily time frame first of all. You can see that this is the daily support. So if I zoom in closely, you see this daily support area. So market taking support from and the daily time frame. So that area is valid though. Area is valid. So dropping down to the 4 hour time frame, this is how I clearly interpret the market. This is how I clearly interpret the market. You see clearly that there was a break of to this upside here. It's a break of to the upside. It's another break of to the upside. And remember, how found the first three is flow with the flow. We can all clearly see that market is buying, making higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. That is enough to take, that's enough to justify the trend as an uptrend. So since I think the first three is flow with the flow, you are flowing with the trend. If the market is buying, let's keep on buying. And also the second one is pay attention to detail, which is structured. So first of all, there was a break to the upside, and the market formed a new low. This new low created this break structure here. So as far as market doesn't take out this low, and do retrace and continue. We'll be taking sales on this level. Understand? We'll be taking sales. But if market close above it, we still expecting buys to the upside. That's the rule. The first one is flow with the flow. The second one is pay attention to detail. Detail means structure. There was a break of structure upside. The low which created break of structure hasn't been taken out yet, showing that they see buyers in the market. But as far as the market doesn't take out this low, doesn't close below this low, and retraces and comes back to continue, we'll be taking sales. We'll only be taking buys. So, and if clearly what if I zoom in clearly, look at the market came out, wicked out, but we're going to take out this low, and then we went back up, showing that they see buyers in the market. And if you look at this consolidation here, it's a consolidative level at this point. To mark out the level clearly for you guys. So if you look closely, there was a break of structure. There was a break of structure, like consolidated. Couldn't take out this low. This is the low that caused the break of structure. This low, yeah, this low. So as far as market doesn't take out this low, still buying. So it came, look at the low. They couldn't break it out with the full body count. Again, close back into our support level. This is a support level here. So if you want to take a buy, only take a buy at this level here, and I'll stop us just below this low here. Understand? But however, before I take a trade, I'm really like to see change in the lower time frame structure, and and that takes us to our last row, which is IROC, indication, retracement, and continuation. However, so after this market went back into our support level, you can see market broke out here. They created a new break of structure, showing that there's still buyers in the market. And you see this is a resistance. Sorry guys, this is a resistance trend line here. This is a resistance trend line where we expect market to retrace before taking buys. You can see there was a break of structure to the upside, showing that enough buys market. And this is the low that caused the break of structure this low. So as far as market doesn't take out this low, and give us IROC, which is which is indication, retracement, and continuation. We'll be expecting buys. We'll be expecting buys. So you see clearly break of structure, market took out this high, which is back to our support level. We're expecting a retracement. You see those are an indication, retracement. So we're expecting for continuation. As far as market don't take out this, we're still expecting buys. And considering this our support level, we'll go down to the 1 hour time frame. And at our 1 hour time frame, we want to see structure shift at the lower time frame. We want to see the structure shift at the 30 minutes or the 50 minutes. So go down to the 30 minutes time frame. You see, if you look clearly, market is high. Market drop down below, drop down to this retraced inside level. It shows us indication here, causing break of structure. Then retracing below this recent trend line, retraced, then created a new high, a new lower high. We'll mark out a new lower high. So if market doesn't take out this new lower high and retrace and continue, we'll be taking trades. So this is clearly indication. That's indication. This retracement. This continuation. So that's what's wanted. Market a new lower high. So now I want a new lower high to be taken. Which you need a new higher high, lower high, a higher low, and a new higher high. So we're getting new higher high above this lower high. This lower high level. So this is new lower high. You can see rejection again. And then my final market took out the high. So market took out the high straight. Took it out, showing an indication. So wait for retracement to the downside. And then want to only take trades after market has taken below this lower high level I marked. So we'll only take our buys after the market has passed through that lower lower high resistance line through. So take a TP all the way to the upside. Now stop loss is just below this resistance level. just below resistance, and below this lower high line. There's a lower high, the market taken out, then we trace and started buy. So only take our buy solution upside. So that's basically how our strategy looks like. Thank you. So welcome back to Black FX, guys. So I'll be analyzing DXY, which is the dollar index. So this my analysis on the dollar index, the dollar. So but first of all, I want to show you how I analyze the financial market. I'll be doing a top-down analysis on how I trade. So normally I normally start from daily or the weekly. The monthly is there. Well, I'll prefer starting from the weekly. From the weekly rather. So starting from the weekly, I have to lead all my analysis for you guys to see. So wiping all my analysis. So we can all clearly see that the dollar is on a downtrend on the weekly, and then we form this kind of consolidation. This a kind of consolidation. So that's enough to tell us that the market is in a consolidating state though. So whenever I reach resistance, it sells, whenever it support, it buys. So we can mark at our lowest low, so our lowest low, and mark at our highest high though. For the highest high. And then if we zoom in properly, we start marking out our resistance and support zones. So this is a resistance zone. Okay. So this is a resistance, this is a high though. High. Mark it out. Clearly speaking, if you notice the movement in the market, after this downtrend, there was a push to the upside. Market failed to take to close below, went up again, made a new higher low, and then a new higher high. So all this consolidation here, market took out all this consolidation here. Understand? But the market has failed to cross this high for a very long time. Understand? Market has failed to cross this high for a very long time, which shows us that whenever there's a break, expect for a retracement for a condition to the upside. Just like there was a break here, retracement, and then clearly we're expecting to buy to the upside. But for now, the dollar is still selling. Yes, the dollar is still selling for now. So if you zoom clearly, you can see there's a level here. It's a level here. Level here. So mark out our support level there. So next zone where we expect market to fall to. So looking at my strategy is flow with the flow. Market was actually buying, but now we can see this break here, this break structure here. So whenever there's a break structure, we expect a retracement to a demand zone. Since the market is buying, and since I create a break structure to the upside, expect market to sell to a demand zone for us to further continue buys. So that's what we're waiting for. And considering this one our strongest support level at the weekly time frame, there's nothing to here than to go down to the daily time frame. Drop it down to the daily time frame, we can all see this that seems like a head and shoulder pattern. This feels more like a head and shoulder pattern. So that shows us that there's enough massive selling trend going on there. And if we all clearly see this feels more like a consolidation. I think I should change the color though. This feels more like a consolidation. All this is happening here feels more like consolidation. And it's our strongest support level where the market to jump to before we start seeing reactions to the upside. So we'll mark out the highs of our consolidation and mark out the lows of our consolidation. So, and if you watch, the market has spent more than two weeks here, more than 2 weeks at this resistance to the outside, and more than that at the support level. So wherever market breaks to, we take the sales to decide where the market breaks to. And if you can see clearly, the market direction is impulse, correction, and impulse. So after being impossible, wait for correction and now impossible to the downside. So just if you're coming with an impulsive move, expect a correction and then an impulsive move. So that's what's happening here on the dollar index. That's what's happening on the dollar index. So let's jump to the 4-hour time frame. I want to show you clearly why I took this trade. If you watch clearly, there's a break structure here to the downside. A break structure to the downside, and this was a high that created lower high that created this break structure. So as far as the market doesn't take out this high, I will still be selling. Yeah, I will still be selling. And you see there was a retracement. There was a retracement to the upside, and then market made it low. There's no real break structure again. Then we see the market made another lower high again, and then came and created another break structure. Yes, it created another break structure showing that the sellers are still fighting to dominate the market. Created another break structure here. And I have one rule in my trading which is called IRC. Indication, retracement, and continuation. So market created a break structure here. I want this market to trace back into our demand zone, our supply zone. So all this place here is to me is a supply zone. Yeah, that's what I call it, a supply zone. That's why we see most active buyers and sellers around that zone because that's and it's so close to the resistance level. So there was a break structure here. So market will retrace and then close above here for me to start taking sales. And if you close, the market closed above this level and then retraced. So there was a form of like a retracement. So if you look closely, there's a resistance zone here. It's a resistance zone here. And if you watch, this looks more like a head and shoulder pattern. This is like a head and shoulder pattern. So and this is this is more like a neckline retracement. Yeah, this is more like a headline a neckline retracement. So what I saw here was the market spending more time accumulating at this level. You can see how long this is a 4 hour candle. Each of these candles is a 4 hour, and see how many candles stay there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 candles. So and we have 5 days. 5 days in working days in a week, which is from Monday to Friday. So considering this consolidation at this level, yeah, expect massive sellers to start coming in. And since it's at the neckline, expect sales to come because after every pattern, which is the head and shoulder pattern, we expect the neckline for market to test at the neckline and then sell, we see massive sales. And considering this consolidation here, our analysis will just be our entry will just be from this neckline all the way to the downside to this our support zone. You can take deep inside, it doesn't matter. So, but if you look closely, this looks like a pattern. This is the left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the right shoulder. So my main reason was entering was a breaker structure here. I wait for the market to retrace back into the lower high that created the breaker structure. And as far as market doesn't take out that high, doesn't take out that high, I will still be selling. So if you see market didn't take out that high, close below the line where there was a breaker structure. So that's where I was taking my sales from. So dropping down to the 1 hour time frame, I want to see how I refine my entries. There was more like a pattern here also. More like a clear pattern here. Yeah, if you look clearly, this looks more like a head and shoulder pattern too. Yes. So it looks more like a head and shoulder pattern. So that was enough to take entries on this trade. That was enough to take entries on this trade. So for around around 1:4. Okay, it's around 1:3 though. 1:3. 14 pips to make 54 pips. That's 1:3. So that's a good result, guys. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and like button to support me.